Yeah, I know what type of time I'm on when I step in the scene, man. Had them bottles ready, had them sparkles ready. It's gonna be a good night. Last time around, it was different. Somebody tell them pay attention, nigga.
Welcome to this brand new episode of another Tiffany podcast. This is your boy John, my co-host Bree, and let's jump right into it. My favorite guy. We've discussed him plenty of times on the episode, good or bad, but I guess he made his.
Talk about him bad.
Oh, we've talked about him on plenty of episodes. He's given.
Right. You have never said anything good. I have never said anything good about him.
Well, you haven't said anything good. That's my guy. I rock with my guy, yeah. But Kanye went on his social media IG rant. You know, I'm not gonna lie. There's a couple of things. You know, he's got his back and forth. He's going with Adidas and Gap. So he has situations with those. And he addressed those companies while addressing other things. Overall,
Well, let's read some of the posts, right on me. Because you like to make it like he's the good guy. So why don't we? No. Why don't we read some of the posts? Because at this point, no, you got to read some of the posts. So let's go back and read some of the posts because you trying it. So he starts off with my kids are going to Dondra. They're going to, and then they blurt it out. Charlemagne the God and Chris, get your motherfucking popcorn. Then he posted a conversation he had with Kim, and he said, "No, we need to talk in person. You don't have a say so of where my kids go to school. Why you get say because you half white." Then he went on to say, "Trishan, Trav, and Scott, I'm the kid's father. Imagine not having any say so on where your kids go to school. Sierra Cannon, Gap, Adidas. It's up. Hillary and Mark, you are blocking me." Then he posted another conversation between him and Kim, a private conversation, okay? Says, "For my mom, please tell him to stop mentioning my name. I'm almost 67 years old and don't always feel great. And this stresses me to the end." And then he replies, you don't have so over my black children and where they go to school. They will not do Playboy and sex tapes. Tell your Clinton friends to come get me. I'm here. God loves us all. Then the last post I read because I stopped. Anybody that says I'm spiraling when I express the undeniable truths is a sheep. Shut the fuck up and worry about your own kids. I obviously am dealing with wars at the highest level of control and discrimination based on level I'm operating at. I conduct a conductor gotta turn the back to the audience to direct the orchestra. Oh yeah, oh ye's crazy. I'm basic as fuck at this point. I'm simply right. I know girls who sell pussy and don't agree with my daughters are this way. Y'all not gonna keep me discriminating on me while these organizations use me as well.
no, first I didn't even read that one. I didn't read that one.
I was driven crazy before. I'm not going crazy no more. It's not up to Calabasas or Hulu where my kids go to school. I'm not crazy. I'm not the crazy one here. It's up. I won't stop until I have a say so on my kids, no matter what it legally takes. Come and get me. I'm a man of God. The father's job is to be the bad God sometimes. So Trevor Noah, come speak on my family so I can be the bad guy. Ask Pete how those tattoos of my kids are doing in the trauma unit.
Oh, I seen that one. Yeah, the one Justin Pete too. So, yeah, Kanye went. He had some stuff off his chest. Some, trying to say some, in my opinion, could stay within the confines of their family, family stuff. But I feel like part of the main reasons why all this he comes out and expresses how he's feeling. Also, he's dealing with a public family. I'm pretty sure stuff like this is gonna get addressed on their show. If you agree with it or not, it's gonna get addressed on their show. So it's like basically they both doing the same thing, right or wrong. If you agree with it or not, they're gonna address Kanye on the show. They're gonna talk about it. So it's just stay doing it on the show while he's doing it on social media. But when those episodes come out, they're gonna talk about this. It's gonna be discussed. Not saying what he's doing is correct, but it's he deals with them in a public manner because a lot of their stuff that they obviously they're all human, but they also deal with a lot of their stuff in a public manner, and we see it. So agree or disagree, but that's why I feel like he's addressing it the way he's addressing it. And he's got the stuff. Again, he has things going on with Gat, and then Adidas basically taking the designs of his shoes and making like off. It's still, I would say, off brand, but it's still Adidas. But they're taking like his designs and making their own versions of his designs and selling it. So he's doing, I'm not trying to say he's doing a lot, but overall, what was your thoughts when all this came out? And
You're not gonna want to know my thoughts, Johnny, because my thoughts are very, very. So here's my thoughts. Okay, you want to bring up discrimination because he's black and his kids are black, and this is because she's half white and all this other shit, and your kids won't make sex tapes or do this and that. Here's my thing. Okay, when you met this woman, you knew she was half white, and you decided to still marry her. There was no discrimination then. There was no discrimination when you knew this woman wasn't of the culture that you was raised in with a black mother. You had no, in your head, no, like, okay, let me not do this. Let me find a black woman because a black woman will raise my black children the way I want them to be raised. You didn't have any discrimination then. My whole thing with Kanye, you talk this shit, but you married this woman, knowing she had sex tapes, knowing she was doing Playboy, knowing she was doing this. This was prior to her meeting him. It wasn't like this shit came out after, like he didn't know this shit was there. He knew who she was.
Yeah, no, that's understandable. Like I say, I understand and agree with that point.
So hold on, Johnny. So why now is it you don't want? Unfortunately, your kid's mother is a Playboy model. She did sex tapes that were released. So at this point, there's nothing you can say about your kids not doing anything when this is the woman you chose to have as your wife and the mother of your children. So at this point, you don't get a say in saying anything about her past because you chose her to be your children's mother and you chose her to be your wife. Not only that, Kanye, let's not forget, had this bitch balancing a glass bottle on her ass and called it Vogue. Like, let's not act like he didn't play a part in shaping and designing the sex model that is now in front of him. See, this is what I don't like. I don't like that he can say all this shit about her, like as if it wasn't like he knew prior to this, okay? He knew prior to this, and that's what it is. You knew who she was in the industry, like Jay said, prior to marrying her, prior to dating her, and prior to having kids with her. So my problem here is that now you want to call her out on the shit that you knew prior to this. Nah, you don't get to do that. You don't fucking get to do that. And unfortunately,
It's very understandable. I understand and agree that point.
No, Johnny, school
No.
zones work.
No, I'm saying the thing you just said, I agree with. You're saying all this, but it's like you knew of all this and you still chose to date the woman, then marry the woman, and then have children with the woman, even though all this stuff happened, majority of the stuff happened and you could say pre and during their relationship, but he was aware of it all. So I agree with your point. You can't use like now shit is the fan or whatnot and use these same points that you knew about to like bring her down. You know what I'm trying to say? Because at the end of the day, you still willingly was a willing participant. You chose. That's who you chose. You could have chose anyone else. That's who you chose.
Right.
You so it's like you said, it wasn't hidden. So he made that choice to make, But that, and I said, that's why I agree with that point. The whole school thing, I guess
Again, you solely don't, and I'm saying this as a mother who is married to my husband. We don't solely, as a mother, I don't solely say, well, my son is gonna go here. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's a conversation, yes. But at the end of the day, we have to do what's best for those kids, right? Well, my kid, just one. I have one. So we have to do what's best for our child, right? So with that being said, most of their kids is at an age where they speak and they can basically articulate where they want to go. And I think it's unfair for Kanye just to say, I want them to go to Dondra just because you feel like that's where they should be. That's not always the case. Okay, what you feel is not always the case. That's one. Two, bringing Pete Davidson back into this when, again, he left peacefully upsets me. Because if you're saying people are saying you're spiraling out of control and you got mental issues, and you know this man got mental issues, and right now he's not even doing that to you, and you, Johnny, you can't even say Pete is doing anything.
Yeah, Pete.
And blame it on. He's in a mental hospital trying to fix whatever he needs to fix. Why do you need to bring him back up? Why?
That was last reported that he went to a facility. That was the last report. He went to a facility. That's what That's from what was reported. That's all I know. I don't know what P's doing, but from what was reported, they say he went to a mental facility after his breakup with Kim. But again, he ain't doing nothing, but he still got his kids tatted on him, which is still something that's kind of weird. We may agree and disagree on that, but that's still kind of weird.
Kanye had a partnership with Nike. That shit fell through. Now he's having issues with Adidas. So maybe it's not the other person, Johnny. Maybe it's Kanye.
Oh no. The whole him and Kim thing.
Don't start that shit. Don't start that shit. Because Jordan has had Nike forever.
You're taking his designs and selling it basically. They're taking his designs and selling it as their own shoe. Even though he's a part of Adidas, they're taking his design, making their own shoe, and they're selling it.
Johnny, you again don't know. He said the same thing about Nike. Nike was taking it for him for.
That's what these companies do. If it's a popular, how I say it, if it's a popular design, there's another word. It's not popping in my head.
If you have this much motherfucking money, then at this point, to me, you should be making just your own shoe company. Because Kanye has a following where if he made his own shoe company, he's still gonna make millions and billions of dollars. But he's not gonna do that, right? Because he depends on the factories of these shoe companies. And I'm gonna be very honest with you, Johnny. When you're depending on somebody, unfortunately, you're gonna get fucked. That's just the way life goes.
No, that's understandable. What I'm saying is though, And I agree with that point. Is like he's obviously relying on those Adidas, factories. They're the ones manufacturing the sneakers, but it's still what they're doing is still wrong. Like they taking his designs. Like he's already part of the team, so it's like you already make a good amount of money off of your partnership or whatever deal that y'all have. Y'all making a good amount of money, and even with that good amount of money, they still want to take his designs and still sell the same designs as with a different name to the people. So it's like Yeezys are making this company a whole boatload of money. The people are buying Yeezys. Yeezys is a very popular sneaker. People are buying Yeezys. Even with that, I still want to. Oh, y'all making money. Yeah, everyone's eating. Why you gotta fuck the money up? But sometimes these corporations.
For him, he chose his life, right? You chose his life. You chose who you chose, and at some point, I don't feel sorry for him. I don't feel sorry for him. Okay, I just don't. I'm sorry, I'm not, because you chose that woman. And when everyone around you was telling you not to, you decided that was the woman for you. And so this is what comes with the repercussions when you choose who you choose to have kids with. And this is why I don't listen to side people's story when they talk about their baby daddies. You choose who you choose when you knew what that person was about. He knew that Kim and that whole family was about, like, and whether you want to admit it or not, they were all about being in the limelight, having all these
conspiracies,
the videos, Chloe going to jail. Listen, we all know that. The only person I will say that's in that family who's not about the whole like TV life, or who's about like, the gossip, and we don't really see her, is Kylie, because her and Travis already told her he don't want to be in that shit. That's not for him. That's not how he wants to be remembered. So that's the only person I can see who, if something happened, I'll have sympathy for, because she really hasn't been in the limelight. All the other fuckers have done shit so that they can be relevant.
No, so, I say the same. It all. Don't. You know what I'm saying? She may not like enjoy it, but they're all like, everyone in that family is just like in the limelight. You know what I'm trying to say? It's just there.
Yeah, but she's not in the limelight for different shit. She's in the limelight for her makeup and her dating Travis and all that other shit. You don't really hear conspiracy when it comes to Kylie. Like, Kylie does not allow Hulu, or she didn't allow E to film her. That's why we didn't know she was pregnant. That's why we didn't know what her baby looks like. She's the only one who we still haven't even seen their son. He's not on the Hulu channel.
I have no.
That's she's the only one who hasn't been out there. But what I'm saying to you, Kanye walked into that shit knowing that they filmed every part of their lives. Every fucking part of
it. When he started dating her, there was, I don't know what season it was in, but it was definitely, the Kardashians was definitely a show everyone was watching.
Right, because she wasn't even divorced with Chris Humphries, and she was dating Kanye, and that's why she paid Chris Humphries off, so that, because she was pregnant with Kanye's baby, and she didn't want it to come out with the Chris Humphries name because she had Chris Humphries' name. So let's not pretend like he didn't know shit about her. When he fucked her, she was married, and he still continued to go down that road with her, even though everybody told him not to. At this point, I don't feel bad for Kanye. I wish him. I understand where he's coming from. As a parent, you want a say in your child's life. I get that. I'm 100% with that. The way he's going about this, Johnny, is wrong to me. Some things need to be dealt in private, and these children's education and these children's livelihood needs to be dealt in private sometimes. And putting that you talk to girls who sell pussy, who don't even have a say in that shit. What are you talking about? And this is my thing, he just goes on these fucking rants and he says these things, And it's just not right. It's just not right. And Kanye needs to get off the internet and just deal with his shit privately sometimes. I think Kanye is wrong. I think he's wrong. And I know you're not gonna say he's wrong, and that's okay. But he's wrong. And he
No, what I said was I agree with you. I said right or wrong, the whole majority of stuff that he's covering, I felt like should be dealt with not in the public eye, but behind the scenes. I won't even say behind the scenes. It should be dealt privately. No one should know. But I feel like I told you I feel like he approaches it that way because, unfortunately, that family is not really. I'm pretty sure there's things that they've done in their lives and whatnot that the people don't know, but the majority of their lives has been in the public eye. So I feel like that's why he deals with it the way he deals with it is because of that. But I agree with you. I feel like stuff like that you shouldn't address on social media. But again, it's the whole thing. Like I said, all this will be probably touched on at some point in their show, or it'll be somewhat talked about. But the family stuff, I feel like that should be left off social media. But yeah, he's gonna do what he's gonna do. But the whole, talking about these companies and his back and forth with companies, I'm Team Kanye, and they're doing my guy wrong. I'm talking, these greedy corporations. But it is what it is. It's gonna be, I would say a never ending story because I don't know if they could ever get on what would be the word, common ground or something. It'll be a resolution, but I just feel like the way it sounds like I don't know if either party will ever be satisfied with whatever the resolution is or could be, but something to look out for. My man, back in news. Hate him or love him, but it always finds a way to be the topic of discussion. Now we're going to transfer over. Transition to some controversial stuff. So, Tiffany Haddish and Aries Spears are being sued for sexual child abuse. I just got to recheck to see if it was the child in the skit. Did you watch the skit that I sent?
So I tried to watch it, but it wasn't letting me watch it. Devin watched it, but I don't know how he was able to.
It was on Facebook. I wish it was thing, but I mean, eventually I probably screen record the video.
Because I tried watching it and I could not. It wasn't letting me. It wasn't letting me click on it.
Trying to see because I see what they try to do with the skit, but that was a bad skit.
Here's the thing. So I've watched videos of him talking about it, and I've watched videos of Tiffany Haddish talking about it. They can't really talk about the skit as much as they want to because it's a legal case. So right now they can't literally talk about the skit.
But I don't know if that's like the skit I said. I don't know if that's like the main skit, but basically the girl says her and her brother were groomed and filmed doing sexually explicit acts under the guise of a comedy sketch. But in the skit that I sent you, basically, Aries Spears is the uncle. I'm pretty sure it's a little boy. Aries Spears is the uncle. Tiffany Haddish is the mother, and it's like she leaves, and like as he leaves. The skit I said, I don't know if this is like the main focal point of the lawsuit or it's a part of it, but it's it's a skit that resurfaced due to all the stuff that thing. So in the skit, Tiffany has the mother leave. Aries Spears is like plays the creepy uncle, and it's like he's just watching the boy creepily, and while he's watching the boy, R. Kelly's music is playing in the background. And then second clip, it's the same shit. The uncle is watching the child creepily after Tiffany has gives an excuse to leave. And then R. Kelly continues playing in the background. He's just watching him creepily. And then in the third part of the skit, she leaves again, but this time the kid is looking at Aries Spears in that way while R. Kelly's playing in the background. And I think at one point the kid was like putting like oil on Aries Spears. It just didn't. It's just one of those skits. I guess they said it was supposed to be like for this skit. I don't know if this is the main skit that's part of it, but this is a skit that resurfaced. I feel like it was supposed to be like a public PA, like trying to say something to address it in a comedic way, but it just didn't hit. This is one of those that didn't hit, but the skit was bad.
But I was looking at the article, and this was years ago, right? So this was
2014.
Right. This is when like Tiffany was trying to get onto the scene, but really couldn't. So she was doing any little thing. So almost 9 years, right? So here's my problem. They didn't put this lawsuit before the 9 years until he came out and said some stuff about Lizzo, and now he's hated because of the Lizzo comments.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Now I understand that aspect of it, but it's Tiffany Haddish is also part of it. She ain't saying nothing, you know what I'm trying to say? But it says that the mother filed a police report in 2020, but it got transferred to LA. So it was originally happened in Vegas and filed a police report.
In order for you as a minor to be signed, in order for you as a minor, right, to be in any clip, your parent has to legally sign.
True.
Right. So if somebody came up to me as a mother, and I speak as a mother because it's easier for me to speak as a mother. If somebody came up to me and asked me, can Dorian be in a skit? My first question is gonna be, what is the skit about? Right? Mm-hmm. My follow-up question is, why Dorian? Y'all already in the industry, y'all could pick any little kid, right? Then my third question is gonna be, once I hear the skit and what's it about and why they chose Dorian, my third answer is gonna be, hell nah. You can't put my son in a fucking sexual skit like that and expect me to sign off on that shit. No, he'll get exposure some other way, not through a sexual explicit film.
That's what I'm saying. I understand what you're saying. It was like
what they saying is what Aries and Tiffany Haddish are saying is, and if you look it up, you will clearly see that the mother is a scam artist. She has sued 44 people, Johnny, 44 people on 44 different occasions. She's have lawsuits.
That's crazy.
So again, Johnny, as much as this is a disgusting skit, and I don't even know why Tiffany or Aries would want to do this shit. Because it is disgusting. It's fucking disgusting. I'm not taking away from that. It becomes a little suspicious when the person who's suing you has had 44 lawsuits against different companies and products and all this other stuff. It seems like they trying to come on a come up. Do you get what I'm saying to you?
Yeah. So it's just like now you look at it as like what is this really about? Like, you really just
Right.
get money? Like, is this something? Is it a real thing? Right,
Right.
and even if it's a real thing, now your history taints proper justice because not saying it's not fair. Everyone should get their proper justice, and you know what? But it's just your history now taints it. So it's like even if this is a real thing, nobody's looking at it. Everybody's looking at it sideways. Like you have this history, and if it was real, now it's like, how do you get your proper justice when you are known to like that's what you go to. So it's like you feel like in a lot of these situations, oh, you may have or may not have been wrong, but you went and filed a lawsuit anyway. So it just changed how it all goes. So
Right. Again, I'm not taking from the film being disgusting. It is. It's a disgusting film. But what I'm saying is, at some point, it becomes like, okay, well, you have 44 lawsuits with different high-end companies. You've had 44 lawsuits with this and this and that. It becomes like, okay,
it's just
how do we believe you? How do we go about this? Because you get what I'm saying to you? Like,
it's very understandable, but it's like again, it just taints it. Like everyone should get their proper justice. Oh, but it's like if this is what really took place, for the most part, people again, most people are gonna look at that and not even believe it. So it's like people's gonna be like, ah, yeah, it's a money grab. Such is trying to get money. While meanwhile, all parties are innocent until proven guilty. And I'm not saying that they did it. I'm just saying with that path, this could be something that's legitimate, but unfortunately, it's gonna probably not go nowhere if it was legitimate because all the past stuff that you engaged in. You created. It's like what was it? I don't want to say use this, but it's like you basically, the person, the boy who cried wolf.
right.
44 lawsuits prior to this one, so this will make what 45. And realistically, out of the 45, how many think like just honestly out of the 45 lawsuits, how many you think were like legitimate? She had legitimate cases out of the 45. In your honest opinion, how many you think it was legit?
None.
Well, technically, it wouldn't be 45 because it's the mother. The mother had the 44. This is the daughter's first lawsuit, so she's filing her first lawsuit. But again, people might feel like the influence of her mother might be playing a role in it. Again, like you said, also the mother has to sign off, or the guardian, even if it was the mother, the guardian, father, or whoever's the guardian, has to sign off on the skits or sign off on their minors being a part of stuff like this, because they're minors at the end of the day. She was 14 and her brother was 7 at the time of said incident. So, yeah, so we'll see.
To me, I don't think mom I don't think the mom did any lawsuits that was real. Everybody's always looking for a come up, and to be honest, I've just, not that I agree with Aries and Tiffany, and listen, I'm not taking any side. Again, I already said the film was disgusting, but I just feel like I just find it's just so convenient for me. Aries is now being dragged through the mud for the Lizzo comments, and all of a sudden now there's lawsuits coming up on him. I'm just being honest, Johnny. It just seems, and then they have this pass of 44 loss. It just sounds fucking fake. It just sounds, something just doesn't sound right.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Nobody was looking for him. Nobody was talking about him. And at that point, he was irrelevant, right? So why bring up the lawsuit then? All of a sudden, he makes a comment about Lizzo and he's being dragged. I mean, this nigga's being dragged. And then boom, he's hit with a lawsuit not even a week later. Like, come on, Johnny. Come on. For something that happened 9 years ago. Come on, Johnny. That shit sound funny. And I'm not saying it didn't happen. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it sounds funny. And I'm getting to a point where it's only black men who's being dragged every other week for sexually assaulting somebody. They even said George Foreman sexually assaulted somebody 40 years ago. Like we are dragging our black men, and it's becoming a whole thing now. Whenever they become on this, well, Aries is not successful, but whenever they become on this platforms, we are dragging them. We are destroying whatever little name they have, and we allowing it. White people don't allow that shit. White people do not. The shit would be very, very quiet. Okay, it would not be. Listen, there's a lot of white people who sexually harassed and did stupid movies, and yet we don't talk about that.
Oh, listen, when it comes to like this, there's a lot of people that engage in some foul things, and some more hidden than others. Some come to the light, but I see what your point is. Basically, if it's a question of someone that's being questioned, they may be for the most part innocent, but if it's a question, it becomes a whole big news thing. They run with it, and the person can be innocent while someone maybe be white, and something questionable happens. They might, from the masses of media, get the benefit of the doubt. And the whole time, they're the ones that's really doing the shit that they was accused of, but then people brush it off. I see your point, but again, we'll see how that goes. I don't think that's going nowhere. This is one of the many things that pops up on the news every now and then. People talk about it in the midst of it, and then it just fades away. But that skit was a bad skit, so I don't know how this. Well, the skit I saw was a bad one, so I don't know how pivotal of a role that skit may play in these proceedings. But the skit I saw, it wasn't a good one. It was bad.
Right.
It was weird, and it was So I don't know how. Like, if you find time to find it, read and watch it. I'm see if I find it on YouTube. But you watch it, you never know that might help such and such's case. But we'll see. Now we're gonna transition to a musician's son. Everyone seemed to be giving him, I guess, a little trouble over it, but at the end of the day, son's growing, son's gonna make decisions, and life is gonna happen. So if you don't know what we're talking about, T.I.'s son was arrested, but in the midst of that, his mugshot came out, but everyone, I guess, seen the mugshots and had their opinions and wanted to come at T.I., so T.I. had to make his video in response. But again, much as a parent could do, once a person is starts growing up and they make the decisions they make, You just hope your child makes the correct decisions, but unfortunately, life happens. Life, it is what it is. And I feel like it's unfair to everyone coming at T.I. for it, but since he's famous and it's his son, I guess. What was your whole thoughts on that whole situation?
I get it. Every child, goes through a moment. But I think if you live in the modern world, you're gonna follow my shit, and it's that type of attitude people have. Like, you think you grown, you want to live this type of life, you want to do this type of shit. I'm cool with that, but you ain't gonna do that shit in my house. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's how people looking at T.I. Like, yeah, you still providing him with a very comfortable life. So you saying, oh, he acting now, and you come in his life, he's like, I expect him to be in jail. I expect him. Yeah, you can't do that shit under my roof though. So I'm not gonna give you a comfortable life, and I think this is how people are looking at it, right, John? Because King and Major and all of them, I'll say all of them, were privileged to have this type of life, right? And I think Amani's the one that raps. So the Amani is they all from different moms, but Amani and his older son, I can never remember his older son name, but the two that are like older than King, one of them raps and the other one he produces, and they came from the gutter. You know, their mom had nothing. It wasn't like they were born into like this money lifestyle, whatever. And this is my thing, right? So people are looking at T.I. because he gives a comfortable life to King. King's gonna just keep doing what the fuck he wanna do. And until you as a parent says enough is enough, you need to get the fuck out of my house. You wanna do this stuff, you wanna act like you a gangster, you wanna act like you this and that. When he didn't give King that life. Now it's time for you to go and find your own. And I think that's fair enough for people to say. I think it's fair because you've put your life on this film, right? So he had his own show, and we saw how King was brought up and how Tiny, like, if you never watched the T.I. show, you wouldn't know. But Tiny used to defend King and used to say to T.I. like, don't say nothing to him, leave him alone, and this and then that. They couldn't like discipline him or nothing. And I think at this point, people are like, yeah, we saw the show. You didn't discipline him on the show. He always had that demeanor like he was above y'all niggas. And now we seen it unfold as he's getting arrested and he's fighting, talking to common workers, all disrespectful, and nothing's being done. We just continue to watch this unfold, and it's not okay. And I agree with some of the comments I read. You need to kick his ass out. You want to live that lifestyle, you do that shit somewhere else. Because as a parent, you cannot, you're not responsible for them once they turn a certain age and the life they want to live. I am no longer responsible for you. I've taught you what I've taught you, and that is it. But at the same time, I am no longer responsible for you and your actions. Go do that shit somewhere else. Don't do that shit here. Don't do that shit in my house.
I'm saying, which is completely understandable, but again, he's young.
You think your mother would let you live in your house? You getting arrested, you fighting, you doing all this shit. You think she wants that around her other kids, Johnny?
Probably, most likely not. But again, like I said, it's this situation obviously is fame, and you know, a family of fortune, so it's looked upon a little differently. Even though poor things for most families is the same, but you know, he's still young, so he's still growing and stuff. Whatever happens, happens. So he's still choosing what life he wants to lead. He doesn't know what he wants to be at this point. So,
but even he's on his life that he's going to jail. The way he's looking at his son is that he's going to jail. So what way are we supposed to look at him? If T.I. is saying that, and that's his child.
That's him making that's T.I. basically. If that, you know, that's to me basically him saying like, it's the decisions he's making. He continuously making bad decisions, so he sees that as a possible outcome.
Yeah, to me personally, you can't make those kind of decisions in my motherfucking house. You can make that decisions outside, not in my house. So they ain't gonna kick him out, but I guess. Why not get a place to be a menace?
We'll see how this plays out, and you know, see how it all goes. Transitioning to, you know, B2K has some things to say. It was on Gym Champs. I didn't watch the whole interview. I seen certain clips, but they had some things to say, and it sounds like they wasn't too fond of Omarion. I think some of the truth in it, bitterness, or just something to stir the viewers.
I just need Beyonce to give a class, right, on how to go from a group to a solo artist and still have your group love you. Because Beyonce is a queen of that, right? She went from Destiny's Child, well, some of the people like her, but she went from Destiny's Child to a solo and being one of the biggest solo artists in the world. And Kelly and Michelle loved the shit out of Beyonce. You know what I'm saying? Like, Omarion just needs to go and ask, Beyonce what she did, because at this point, I watched the drinking champs because I wanted to know what the fuck is the problem, and it just seems like a lot of bitterness.
Okay.
All right, and that's how I'm gonna leave it. And I just don't feel like Fizz gets to talk shit when you slept with the man's baby mom. See, and this is my as I'm watching this, and he's dragging fucking Omarion. Omarion didn't even drag you when you was fucking his baby. Like, it just seems like a lot of bitterness. Let's be honest here.
Okay.
And Omarion hoped that when he went on the fucking the versus battle and fucking choked, but I don't even know why we still entertaining the B2K. It's been so many years. Ain't nobody looking for B2K. Ain't nobody looking for Fizz. I don't even know the other one.
Still got story to tell. I'm pretty sure they got some good.
Why we allow Duffy to their story, but we can't allow Gotti to tell his story on Drinking Champs? And their story ain't even interesting. Nobody gives a fuck. At least Gotti, everybody want to know what happened between him and Ashanti. Whether they want to say they want to know or not, everybody wanted to know. Because I always thought it was Ja Rule. But it was good to learn it was Gotti. She was going above Ja Rule.
Right.
Like, I just don't understand why Drinking Champs took B2K. Can we do other people? Can we do interesting people? Like, can we have Jay on Drinks and Champs? Like, I would. Do you know how many views they would get if Jay-Z was on Drinking Champs?
I'm pretty sure he did.
He didn't do Drinks and Champs.
Maybe not.
Kanye did.
Your chance has been around for a while.
Jay-Z did not do Drinks and Champs. Kanye did Drinks.
You said who?
Kanye.
Yeah, not Drink Champs had plenty of people. Diddy did Drink Champs. Plenty.
Yeah, I don't really care. I care about Jay. And if they had Beyonce on there, shit.
Didn't Beyonce do Drink Champs?
Probably not. But what I'm saying is, if they were able to get Beyonce on Drinks and Champs, the outcome of it would be good, because people want to know about Beyonce. People want to know about Jay. Nobody gives a fuck about B2K. This shit was so long and boring. I'm just like, yo, the bitterness in a group be real. I would never want to do, if I could sing, I would have never entered in the group, because the fucking, and if I can't even say the rest of them had talent, so that I could be like, yo, Fizz sings, help me out with their names. Not Boogie. You know who I'm talking about. They none of them could sing.
No, I'm saying,
none of them could dance.
I just feel like, people join groups. Obviously, every group has the one person that's just stronger than everyone in the group. Ends up being
That's not true.
Every group has someone that's just the strong. What group that is evenly balanced?
Right.
In your honest opinion, what group was like evenly balanced where it's like, say that again, I hear you.
Oh, Danny B. Kane, Day 26, Boys to Men, 112.
So you're saying nobody in these groups, people gravitate to. All these groups have a lead singer.
No. Tell me, who is the lead singer in Danny B. Kane?
I already know, but I'm saying I'm pretty sure someone's got to be the designated lead singer.
No. They all have parts. Who was the lead singer in Day 26? No. Who's the lead singer in Boys to Men?
I'm just saying, I feel like someone's.
Who's the lead singer in Boys to Men?
Someone's designated then.
Who was the lead singer in 112? Who was the lead singer in Casey and JoJo?
Lead singer.
Lead singer in All for One. Who was the lead singer? I had another one. Damn, I lost it. It's gonna come back to me. Hold on.
For sure.
Hold on.
You'd be surprised.
There was no lead singer in that shit. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I am telling you. I can even give you.
I googled Danny Kane's lead singer, and this is the name that popped up. You may disagree. It's not my answer. This is the answer that what I googled. The name that popped up was on Andrea Aurora Fimbres.
That's a lot. She did not. She was not. If anything, what I thought you was gonna say, and I was gonna say, fuck that. It was a light skinned bitch. But
Google said I didn't say that. I just googled it.
Look, listen. Diddy, who made the group, said there's no lead singers, and Diddy made the group. All right, so you gotta be.
When you Google this, the lead singer of 112 is Slim.
That's a lie. That's a lie. We're not gonna talk about that. Hell no. Hell no.
You Google it, that's what pops up. What was it? You said day 26?
Anyways, like I said to you, and I'm gonna keep saying to you, ain't nobody give a fuck about B2K, and we're gonna end it on that. Stop looking up lead singers. Nobody gives a fuck.
The only group that
nobody gives a fuck.
The group that you said that I Googled, two of them had lead, according to Google, had lead singers. Day 26 and have a lead singer according to Google.
I knew they don't. I love Day 26. They coming back.
They didn't put a name. It just showed the whole group. And all the two groups, they gave me names. That one didn't give me a name.
Okay, well, listen to me. Nobody gives a fuck about B2K. And for them to go into Drink Champs, they tried it.
We'll transition to something that went viral. The Weeknd had a concert in LA. I think he performed 2 songs, lost his voice, told fans he's sorry, and he did, which is very unfortunate. But he said, I'm sorry, y'all get all your money back, and did. That's what he said. He apologized. I think he performed 2 songs, and like in the midst of the performing 2 songs, he lost his voice, so he couldn't perform. Which is unfortunate event for those that probably won't be able to make the rescheduling whenever they reschedule it. It's gonna be unfortunate for them because they plan on seeing him that night. But life happens. Yeah, at least he kept it, like he kept it in the butt. Like it's over. I can't do it. It happened. What was your thoughts when you heard that?
It happens. Like,
That's sure. There's nothing you can do about it. Like, what you want to do?
Keep faulting him for having, like, he screams and it hurt his voice. These voices are not. When I was watching this, I was looking at the comments, right? Because I'm a person who, if I see something, I read comments, right? Because that's what I'm there for the comments. People were saying like, this just shows you that you can't buy people's tickets. This is just the most hard. What's horrible about this? Nigga lost Weeknd.
He's a human.
Lost like, is nobody asking him like, are you good, dude? Like, you good, homie? Like, people are just, I can't stand people.
It is. And he kept it about. He said, y'all get your money back. And they're going to obviously reschedule the show. Everything's going to be rescheduled. But again, it's like someone goes to a performance and has a medical issue. They can't perform. People are still going to be mad. People's crazy. People still be mad.
For the Weeknd, I mean, I'm not like a Weeknd fan. Like, I'm not. I'll bump some of his shit, but I'm not like a Weeknd Like I wouldn't go pay to see the weekend. I'll tell you who I will go pay to see though, and just in case they come around. No, if they come around because just in case they come around, again because I missed the first tickets. Shawn Mendes. If he ever comes around, Johnny, and you want to give me a birthday gift or Christmas gift, I love Shawn Mendes. I would love to see him perform. If you ever want to give me the tickets, I really do love Shawn Mendes. I don't think this will happen to Shawn Mendes because his vocal cords are up there. Just in case you ever want to get me concert tickets to see a male singer, I'm just throwing that out there to Devin too. But I don't understand why he why he couldn't have a moment. But my whole thing is, okay, so did he lose his voice? Because he was still talking. So did he lose his singing voice, or did he lose his talking
voice? He could probably hit them notes.
So was this a point of not?
So I can't say it. I'm assuming so.
See, that's my only problem with this, because he went and he talked. It wasn't like he had somebody else come out and talk for him because he lost his voice. He came out and talked, and his voice sounded perfectly fine. So I don't understand. Can he not have played a voiceover? Like, do they not do that for concerts? Okay, but I hope he gets.
Talking about lip singing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, voiceovers.
People lip sing, but I guess he's official. He don't want to lip sing.
I mean, you already have the crowd there. That shit would have pissed me. We in song 3, and now I gotta go home. I just know Shawn Mendes wouldn't do that to us, but I get it. Just in case y'all want to give me Shawn Mendes tickets. I mean, I'm not a real big fan of The Weeknd. I don't really like his. I don't know. I don't see him as a performer, anyways. Why the fuck were you screaming at a performance? See, that's what I don't like. This is what I don't like. There's so many questions. You can't even criticize him because there's so many fucking questions. You get what I'm saying? But hey, I hope The Weeknd is better. I don't know what to say about this. This is one of those. There's so many questions, not a lot of answers. I just feel like he went up there, performed 2 songs, was like, you know what, I can't do this shit. I'm tired. My fat ass is tired. And then that's what we got. We got The Weeknd saying his voice got lost, but then he saying his voice got lost while he's talking. Made no sense to me. So there were so many questions I had to ask him that I just felt like, your fat ass wasn't ready to perform. And so next time, make sure your fat ass is ready to perform.
It happens, man. So everyone got refunded, and hopefully everyone can make the next show.
I want a refund plus my transportation fare, because if I traveled to that motherfucking place, you owe me a few $100s for traveling too. I'm just saying, if I travel to see Shawn Mendes and he canceled, that motherfucker's giving back my refund and my traveling fare. Like, what? Even though he was at the Barclays Center and I missed it.
But it is what it is. We're gonna keep it music again. The halftime super performance has won 3.
We're talking about your favorite people today.
3. That's a dope thing. That's the first time ever, I believe. That's the first time ever too. They won 3 Emmys for the Super Bowl halftime show. Dope moment for the culture. Dope moment for hip hop, because hip hop was on display during the halftime show. That's definitely dope.
Okay.
Yeah, that's horrible, Bree. No love for the hip hop community. That's crazy.
No, I love the hip. Don't throw that shit in there. Don't fucking try to throw that shit in there. I love the hip hop community. Don't do that. Don't fucking do that. Don't do that.
The Super Bowl halftime show winning an Emmy is a dope moment for the hip hop.
I don't know about why I needed to win an Emmy, but it was a dope ass halftime show.
That's why.
I would say that shit touched my soul.
That's why I needed to win an award, and it did.
Okay. Go on with what we're gonna talk about, because that's not what we're gonna talk about.
Oh, you're talking about because due to the obviously the announcement spurred a couple of back and forth between hip hop's East Coast, West Coast rivals. No, it's not East Coast, it's West Coast, but same old, another beef that's been going on for like almost 20 years. And you don't know what we're talking about. Game 50. 50 took some shots amidst of him and his people's winning that Emmy. And, Game obviously responded. They went back and forth, and they do what they do every now and then. They take shots at each other. They take shots, and they both go their separate ways. But it was
fight. Who you think will win?
In a physical fight, honestly, I don't know.
All right, so let me tell you this. I think 50 didn't need to push that button. I think it was already pushed when they did the halftime show and Game wasn't invited to halftime show. I think those buttons already was pushed. I don't think 50 needed to push them any further, right? But again, 50's a troll, and so he does things, and then I don't know if he expects or don't expect, but at this point, if I was in the industry, I wouldn't even respond to him because I feel like he wants a reaction out of people. I think 50 looks for reactions, and I think that's just so clownish. I think that's so like goofy.
No, but on this, this is a personal opinion. I'll say, but this little, this little spark, I'll say a little spark because it's a spark. The back and forth started with the fact that Game wasn't invited to the halftime show, and then Game had an album coming out, so Game has been on the press run talking about 50, talking about M, talking about Dre. He dropped a whole, we would say a diss track, and he mentions Dre, 50, M on the diss track. This track's 10 minutes long, by the way. That's what I'm saying. So it's like they had you wasn't on the pod when they, in the midst of this, they had like a small back and forth, but it stems from Game not being, invited to the halftime show. I think it's a little of that, and then Game has his album coming out, so he went on the press run. People feel like stuff like that. It gravitates attention. People do shit like that to market and have people listen to their album. So I feel like there was a little of the halftime show and more that he had an album coming out. So they had that little back and forth. And obviously he stated in one of his interviews that he felt salty that he wasn't invited. So, 50 being the petty man that he is, they won an Emmy. And he decided to rub it in Game's face that they won a trophy.
Okay, I understand that. There's always been rap battles or rap disses in hip hop for forever. But again, it's a little petty when you take it to social media.
And now all the shots has been social media. All this was social media / interviews. All of it, yeah. From this current time, I'm not talking about like the pre one. I'm talking about from the Super Bowl show till now. It's all been social media interviews.
They both done clown shit, whether you want to admit it or not. They both have. But again, if you're winning an Emmy, why bring up the game? To me, this is your moment to shine. I don't see this is what I understand about 50. You have a moment where you are being, all this stuff. Why do you feel the need to bring up the game? Leave that shit alone, accept your Emmy, or have a moment in the internet where it's just you having a moment. Why do you need to bring up the game?
That's understandable, but again, like I said, shots was exchanged. So with these two, it's just like, from what I see, is like no one will be okay with whoever gets the last word. You say something, I eventually gotta say something, and then since I said something, you're gonna say something, and when you say something, I'm gonna say something. It's just a back and forth of pettiness. That's not planning on going nowhere no time soon. They're gonna be in their 70s, still dissing each other. But it is what it is. You're gonna transition to that. To some crazy story. So you heard about the story about the person who threatened to crash a plane into Walmart?
Yes.
That shit, like, of all places, why Walmart and like why?
Sorry. The real question is why not Walmart?
I know. Why not Walmart is crazy.
Why not Walmart? It makes sense to me.
It's crazy.
It, let me tell you why it makes sense to me. Walmart is like the hood store for everything. Right? So why not?
That's hilarious. You said why not Walmart, but it's just like how do you like oh yeah I'm in a plane. Yeah, I'm gonna crash into Walmart. What? Hey, that's crazy.
Yeah, Walmart. Okay, I I think about it, right? If you on a suicide ward or you like
Mm-hmm.
you want to kill people, the places now are like Walmart, supermarkets, and stuff like that. Unfortunately, this is why I'm scared to go to supermarkets and I'm scared to go to any of those type of places because those are the places where the most people be at. You get what I'm saying? Even though it sounds crazy, I, that's why he probably chose Walmart, Johnny, because that's where the most people be at. It's gonna get to a point where people just don't go into stores anymore, where they fucking order everything online because
Yeah,
this.
it's someone that looked like he wanted to basically end his life and I guess end his life in the great in that no yeah he was looking like someone that wanted to end his life, but he convinced him he landed his plane and then they arrested him.
This is why from now on I told them I ain't going to no damn supermarket that's full. We're gonna go at night when it's empty. Because again, these are the like high end places where everybody's going. And so they wanna this is the place they wanna like how do I say it?
Yeah, again, it sounds like he didn't really want to do it because he gave him enough time to evacuate the whole Walmart and everyone in the surrounding radius of the Walmart. It was he said it, but they was able to like clear that whole area. And they said it took them 4 hours to like convince him to actually land the plane. And when he landed the plane, they arrested him.
Yeah.
So yeah, it sounded like he really wanted to I would say end his life, but I guess he didn't really want to inflict harm. But
It still sounds scary.
it got, of course. Imagine, what I'm trying to say? Like, imagine, like, there was no warning. He just did it. You know? That's scary part. Like, the outcome that, that happened is, like, tremendous. But imagine he didn't say a warning and just did it.
Right.
He could have been killed or injured. And the person that's going through whatever they're going through and wanted to end their own lives. Unfortunate for that person, may their health and everything get better, but fortunate for the people of that area and people that go to that Walmart that they didn't have to, they was able to go there and come out one piece or hold off on their trip or go to another Walmart and be safe. Yes, that's worked out. In the end, it worked out best for all. Right. Now we're going to transition to what would you do if this was you? Woman sued after accidentally getting $10 million sent into her account. She spent some of it, and then she moved all the money into different accounts.
Yeah, I'm going off the grid. Fuck that. Why did I get that off the fucking grid? Like, you ain't gonna find me no more. I'll tell you that much. Me and my family gonna be in a private island in Hawaii.
That's the United States.
Is it?
Mhm.
Okay, so I'll be in Trinidad. I got family in Trinidad. I lived here for so long. To be honest with you,
Basically, you
I
said
don't need to.
just go to a country with no extradition. So it's like you move all the funds to the country and just go live a happy life.
Right. I've lived here. I lived here all my life. I know what this bitch look like. I don't need to come back here.
But yeah, a couple.
I,
I'm not gonna lie. Imagine just waking up. I didn't hear what you said. What you said, Bree?
I said, if my family want to come see me, they come see me where I'm at.
Or I'm saying, just imagine. I'll be hearing stories like this. Like shit. Why shit like this never happened to me? I wake up like, oh, what the fuck is that?
But it said it took us some. It took them some time
Yeah, to
to
figure it out.
realize.
But
Right.
unfortunately, it's understandable because for a company like that, it's like it's understandable because when you start filing taxes and you really like look into like the finances, like that's why you hear about all these white collar crimes and people like stealing money from these corporations. It's like they get it, like they siphon money in like these loopholes or whatnot. But when the company actually puts their eyes on it or outside,
What was she supposed to do, Johnny? Was she supposed to tell? That's snitching. Snitches get stitches.
And honestly, in their eyes, I guess she was supposed to tell, but the way I look at it is like, you know damn well you ain't doing nothing to get that money, but who's one to tell me like, hey, we live in a good world, right? Some people want to be blessed. Well, I got blessed today. Who's you?
Here's the thing.
Say someone ain't blessed me. You said what?
You know how I think about it. Ready? How I think about it, right? I'll give them 2 days to hit me up and be like, unfortunately, this money is not yours. After 2 days, motherfuckers, if you don't hit me up, that means it wasn't a mistake. You gave me this shit. This is mine. So I'm gonna take my shit. I'm gonna put it in the banks I think is necessary for me to do. And I'm at this bitch. Because I gave you 2 days, 2 business days, actually, to tell me this was a mistake. But since in those 2 business days you didn't tell me, okay, it's my shit now.
You said she bought a house, and I think she bought like a nice ass house, and she bought a nice ass car with those funds, and then all the money else went to like different bank accounts.
Yeah, I'm not gonna buy a house, and I know it was a mistake. So I ain't buying no house here. My house is gonna be in Barbados.
Mm-hmm.
Or Trinidad. Or Jamaica.
Shit.
Or Virgin Islands. Or Turks and Caicos.
Virgin Islands is United States. It's like Virgin Islands, like Puerto Rico.
Oh yeah, it is.
So it's one of the places you don't need a passport to go.
Where else do I want to buy a house? That's it. I'm good there.
Like
any of those places.
$10 million. Jeez, imagine waiting up for $10 million accidentally in your account. Like I said, I'll tell them, I felt like someone wanted to bless me today. But I'll definitely know what I'll do. I'll definitely I'll pay a whole bunch of bills off, and then when they come calling for me, I'm like, I'll just pay my bills off. I can have the rest. That's it.
I'm taking money.
You said what?
I'm taking my money.
Mm-hmm. But we're going to transition to another lawsuit where a teacher wins a lawsuit for refusing to, would it be address? Teacher wins lawsuit refusing, I want to say address. Address is like a different word for it. For refusing to call a student by their set pronoun and name that they prefer to be called. You think this is a good thing or a bad thing? Or should teachers when they talk to their students, should they stick to what, what's on their papers, or when they take attendance, whatever's on the attendance, they should stick to that, or they should go and try and call these students by their preferred name / pronouns.
Whatever name is on that registration list is what the teacher should call them by. Fuck that. All this trying to figure out what your name is, what your pronouns is, whatever that is on the sheet is what I'm calling. So if your name was Dirty Little Bastard, I'm calling you Dirty Little Bastard. That's what's on this attendance sheet. That's what's on this sheet. I'm calling you that.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
That's understandable.
My son's name is Dorian. You call him Dorian when you see him. Nothing else is to be said. Just call him the God-given name that I gave him. And I can't be mad at anything else. I cannot be mad at you call him a he, that you say him, that you say, hey, little boy. I cannot be mad at that. That is what he is, and that is what is on his birth certificate, and that's what the fuck you're going to call him. Now, if you call my son a bitch, oh, I'm fighting you and I'm suing you and you should be fired. If you call my son little shit, you should be fired. Get what I'm saying to you?
Yeah, that's understandable. Like teachers, they're not obliged, but they could, if they choose to address you and your pronouns or whatever your name change. That's understandable, but at the end of the day, their job is they read off the sheet. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Read off the sheet. So then, if your name's not that on the attendance sheet, it's like you tell a teacher, call me this nickname. It may be a little different, but it's like call me this nickname. No, your name is this. I'm gonna call you this.
The only time I ever seen that is when, again, the name is difficult and they can't pronounce it. Then that teacher and that student usually talk about a nickname.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If I can't, it's like I'll try my best, but if I can't get it or it's not to your liking, let's come to a compromise. I'll call you this. You fine with that? No, but yep, teacher won the lawsuit. So I guess it is what it is. We're gonna transition. So you said what?
You see the news? Are you watching the news?
Not at the moment, no.
Queen Elizabeth has just died.
Oh damn. I seen something that they said she was in the hospital.
Yeah, so I checked the New York Times, People Magazine, the Washington Post, Harper Bazaar's, Yahoo News, NBC. Queen Elizabeth has died at 96.
Well, that's unfortunate.
It is unfortunate.
The Queen. R.P.
So who's the successor?
She lives a long life. 96. She said what?
Who becomes her successor?
So that means would they be getting a king now?
Right, because her son Charles isn't he next for?
I was assumed, yeah, he'll become king. Well, so we're about to get a king?
I hope so. Wow, we don't get a king, and them racist ass motherfuckers wouldn't be.
That's interesting. I want to see how it plays out, but I think yeah. So I think next in line will be one of her sons to be and it will be king.
Well, we gonna figure it
out. You said what?
I mean, they're gonna have to discuss it on TV and stuff. So.
But yeah, condolences to her loved ones. But Queen passed away. R.I.P. to her.
Yes. But we'll see who becomes successor because this is gonna be funny.
It'll be interesting. Like
it's gonna be like.
Are we gonna get a king? And most likely. When was the last time there was a king crowned?
Her husband.
Huh?
Her husband. But I it's gonna be some Game of Thrones over there, so it's gonna be good to see.
Game of Thrones. The Royals is like, you know, Royals is like.
It's gonna be some Game of Thrones over
Like,
there.
they're political people, but they're not really political people. I don't know how to explain it, but they have power, but they don't.
It's okay. I can't watch it. I can't wait to watch Game of Thrones in real life, and that's what it's gonna be over there. Wait for
It's gonna be Game of Thrones.
Wait for it. Yes, it is. How you know?
We'll see. That's hilarious.
Okay.
We'll see. But we'll transition. We don't not really talk about this, but supposedly Black Chyna's making $20 million a month off OnlyFans, facts, or cap. What should I say? If it was like a year thing, I'll probably believe it. But $20 million a month is crazy. After the whole shit she was going through and the lawsuits and the L's that we covered in the episode, $20 million a year is a lot of money. I mean, I said $20 million a year. $20 million a year is a good amount of money, but it says $20 million a month. Fast cap, believe it or not. But shit.
I can't. Who's watching her OnlyFans? Which one of these niggas?
$20 million a year. Oh my lord, that's almost that's $250 million a year. OnlyFans has made a lot of money for people, but sheesh, that's a lot of money.
I don't see it. I don't see who's watching her shit.
Someone's always watching people on their OnlyFans.
I wonder what she's doing on her OnlyFans.
Subscribe to find out. You said what?
Go watch it.
Me?
Yeah, go watch what she's doing on her OnlyFans, and then let me know what she's doing.
How much you think her subscription is a month?
Probably like $20. You could afford that.
$20 a month. That's what? Look at her pictures.
Just 1 month.
All right. So what we'll do is we'll do OnlyFans quick study where we'll all make a profile, share the same password, and we'll all chip in and we'll subscribe to one person and we'll see how it works.
No, I don't want to watch OnlyFans. I'm a girl.
Pretty sure there's other women watching other women on there.
Nah, I'm a girl. You go watch her OnlyFans. You come back to the pod. You tell us if it's worth $20 million a month.
That's a lot of subscription. Let's see.
Listen.
Let's do a quick Google.
Listen.
Yeah,
Don't
do a quick Google.
Go and watch it. Do research for the pod. Do research for all of us so that we don't have to pay for her shit. And then you come back and you tell me if it's worth it.
Okay. Her subscription is $19.99 per month.
$20. I knew it was $20. I heard her say it.
It said last seen 4 minutes ago. Foot Freaks Mondays, Black.
There you go. Listen. Just do it. Just take the L.
I'm trying to see how many people subscribe to her, but it doesn't show.
Johnny, listen to me. Escucha. You go on there, pay the $20, right? If you want, I'll give you $10. You go on there, you pay $20, right? You see if it's worth it. If it's worth it, Johnny, then you just keep your subscription, and keep watching her. If it's not, you come back on the pod. You tell us it's not worth the $20. Don't watch it. And you don't. And then you could tell us, I don't see how she makes 20 million in a month from this shit. And then that is done. Then you could delete the subscription. So you take that, you take it for the team, you figure it out, and then you come back and you tell us. Deal. Okay. So guys, next week Johnny's gonna come back. He's gonna tell us how this subscription was. Was it worth $20 million? Is it worth $20 million a month? And if he enjoyed her OnlyFans. Okay, Johnny? Okay. Deal.
All that, but we shall see. Till last segment. What are we currently watching? It's fall's here. All the shows are about to come back. What shows are keeping you afloat till the season where when it hits that season hits and all the shows come back? What's holding you afloat right now, Bree?
So you ready? The two shows I'm watching right now is Hard Knocks.
Okay. That's
and
Hard Knocks.
What happened?
So that's surprising you said Hard Knocks. Hard Knocks.
Why, Johnny? Because I'm a girl? I can't watch Hard Knocks?
No, it has nothing. Again, girls can watch Hard Knocks.
That's a bit.
You are the one who stated plenty of times on this pod when Debbie watching this game, it drives you crazy.
I never said that, Johnny. I never said that. No. Rewind the clips, Johnny. You're lying. I never said that, Johnny. Johnny.
What did you say?
You lying.
What did you say? So you never talk about Dev and his watching sports.
Johnny, this I know you capping because I've learned the game of football. I've even downloaded ESPN on my phone.
Yes.
Let me talk. I've downloaded it. I've watched football now because that's the only time that my husband is like, oh, he's like, you know, I always go take a nap. So now I've learned the game of football. I've watched it now with him on Sunday, so have some quality time with my husband. So that's how I know you capping.
This is a different tune. Go back 30 episodes is conversation. Go back 30 episodes. Go back 30 episodes is a different conversation.
Oh my God. Okay, Johnny.
That's dope that's dope that you are now a fan of football. But
I'm not a fan. I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm a fan. I watch football Sunday, Mondays, and Thursdays. I don't. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. I'm still not that female. But I learned the game that if it's on, I don't have to ask questions. I can watch it peacefully and see what it is. And I like Hard Knocks because, again, all we see is these players every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday on the football field. And we don't really know them. But watching Hard Knocks, you really learn about these players. And it's a beautiful thing. And you get to see the struggle of what they do prior to getting on that field. So it's a really good.
Nah, Hard Knocks is dope. Hard Knocks and like shows like that, like when you get like that behind the scenes, like sharing industries and sharing shit, it's dope shows because it gives you like obviously you see what you see, watching the football,
right,
watching whatever, but it's just that behind the curtain, that peek behind the curtain makes it more dope because you see like the human side of them, the shit that they go through. Sometimes people forget that they still are human and they live lives just like us. So like you get to see how all that is, you know, the struggles and stuff like that. That's a lot of shows like that. They're dope.
Yeah, I love Hard Knocks. And I'm also watching Game of Thrones House of Dragon. And I must say, I watched Game of Thrones way after Game of Thrones, but I must say I like this storyline. I thought that they were gonna do it more closer to Daenerys' timeline, and I'm just so happy they did it.
Yeah, it's like this is like
right. I love it.
But nah, yeah. I was telling Dev, House of Dragons, I just feel like the pacing and how it's going. Like Game of Thrones was dope. I love Game of Thrones. I was watching it when it first came out, but I just felt like it started off slow as it was building. So it's like it built the anticipation up, and I feel like the pacing of House of Dragons, it's a little more faster, but it's still following like it's building the anticipation up for a whole bunch of stuff. So it's like I like.
I love that they bringing up the winter's coming because that means they knew prior to this that winter was coming.
Yeah, because some of the Targaryens have divisions. You know, if you remember, Dany's having like divisions in Game of Thrones, but basically the person who came and like conquered the first Targaryen that went to Westeros and conquered it, he was having divisions, and every king, I guess, it gets passed down to king and their heir. So whoever's the heir.
And again, I just love to see how the dragons were. Again, why, why are they so close to Daenerys? Why were they loyal to Daenerys? But it makes sense now because the dragons played a big part in her ancestry. Like the fact that they would put the dragons near the baby and let the baby sleep with the dragon, and it became a bond. And now, listen, I love it. It's a show that I will continue to watch. And I'm watching The Shy too, but I'm late with The Shy because
I'm too far behind The Shy. I'll eventually catch up. I'm far behind.
Yeah, we are. We're trying to play catch up. But those are the shows right now that like I'm watching consistently.
But TV show news. You said you watched.
It's gonna be hard to watch shows because football is back, and so
it's gonna delay stuff. Quick thing. Speaking TV show wise, you watched the Chicago what is it? Chicago Wednesday, Fire Med, PD. Do you watch those shows now? Okay.
I hate them shit.
This shit is dope, but okay. Transition. But those shows will be coming back as well. Currently, I'm watching House of Dragons. Obviously, I'm watching Raising Kanan. And tomorrow's the release of the new season of Cobra Kai, so that's what I'm gonna be watching. I'm gonna binge that as well. So those are shows I'm currently watching at the moment. Well, two of them I'm watching currently, and the other. Which show?
For the House of Dragons. All your shows, Raising Kanan, Cobra Kai, all those Chicago PD shits. Jesus, like you need to go back to the drawing board or something.
I'm not gonna lie, I watch a lot of TV shows.
Like, I don't know where you at in life, but those shit suck.
No, you're crazy.
Like Raising Kanan sucks. Cobra Kai sucks. Jesus, and thank you for letting me know it comes back because Devin watches that shit too, and that shit is bad. It's just bad. Thank God he watches it on Saturday mornings when I'm asleep, and he gets up extra early so he can watch his shows. Because I refuse for that to be on the TV while I'm up, because that shit sucks.
Hell no.
Oh God, that's bad. God, like Karate Kid 1 was good. Now y'all making a fucking TV series about it. Y'all trying it. Y'all just be doing the dumbest shit. Here y'all are supporting these dumbass. Okay, I'm done.
It's okay. That being said, that's a wrap on this brand new episode of the Military Opinion Podcast. This is your boy John, my co-host Bree, and we are out.